Hello everybody, welcome to the video. Today we have a MX Bikes shootout, or I guess we have an MX Bikes bike shootout, if you guys want to say it that way. We've got every single new OEM bike now in the game, and I just kind of wanted to go through, highlight the pros and cons of each, give it my first overall rating. Mind you that these are all mostly stock setups. These are not messed with in any sort of way other than the amount of gas that is in the bike. I just lowered it to 1.22 gallons if you guys were curious. That is the only thing that was changed. So these are the standard bikes that I'm rating right now, and just kind of first impressions, good good first look, I guess. And right now you're just looking at gameplay of the Gas 250. And I did motocross, supercross, and overall ratings on all these things right here, so should be interesting to see what bikes did better. I already have it all on my notes on my second monitor that I will read off to you guys for the gas, and every single bike. I did not even bother with the Fantic or whatever it's called and the TM. Those bikes out of the question. I will tell you, those are bottom 4 or 3, maybe even bottom 2 of the new OEMs. Obviously these new OEMs were just released, so there wasn't any setups out or anybody really reacting to what was really going on. But I think we start to wonder how the gas did with motocross. I rated it in motocross an overall 9 out of 10. It followed in ruts great. The corner speed was a little bit worse than I thought it would be. Corner speed, it just didn't seem to really pick up, and it felt sensitive, I guess. And then suspension was great. I put it at a 7 out of 10. And moving on into supercross now. Supercross, I used the new aerial track that was released for us. Luckily, thank you Stone Rider for that. And every bike had its struggles, every bike's had its pros as well, pros and cons to every single bike for sure. What really struck me with the gas on Supercross is it wasn't the fastest accelerator. It did not do well in the whole like stretching jumps out and whatnot. Like, I really had to try for these triples to barely even get them. Probably not my favorite Supercross bike. Lacks a lot of power. Gave it an overall 6 out of 10 with the Supercross. The whoops, although, were probably the best part of this, other than like the traction with the front tucks. Did like that a lot. Rated that it's on your screen anyways. And then the overall bike feeling was pretty good. Overall, I give it an 8 out of 10. You guys can see all the reasons right there. Now to move on to one of my personal favorites, the Honda, a bike that I realized that you can literally just gel with. Just straight off the bat, everything, it's super friendly to applying the gas, and also tight technical sections, as long as just having the power to get speed down out of ruts and whatnot. You guys will see in this motocross whatever it's called, explanation, example, whatever you guys want to say. I'm looking for a certain word, just cannot find it, obviously. Yeah, currently 1:02 a.m. At the point of recording, so you guys can kind of understand my sanity's kind of a little bit down. Don't really stay up this late anymore, and now that I am, and I'm here, no backing out now, right? And I want to get this video uploaded, at least do some of the uploading overnight, so it's pretty cool. Honda, back to the bike shootout. It's pretty awesome. The bike itself was pretty fun to learn. I did like the sound a little bit. It was okay. I had to warm up to it for sure, but it was pretty cool to go through this track. Hangtown is actually my hometown track, less than an hour away from me. Never actually ridden there though, but I go there nearly every year to watch the guys race in real life, so I thought that was pretty cool. And I'm normally pretty fluid on this track, so I thought it's got a little bit of everything too. Hills, challenging sections, rollers, uphill rollers if that, and then stuff to just test the suspension like this. And you guys see it on the screen when I rated all the things in motocross. Overall 8 out of 10. Went through ruts fine. Corner speed was good. Suspension was awesome. very, very solid showing for the Honda. If anything, should be higher than a 8 out of 10. But moving into Supercross now, was super cool, super fun. Whoops definitely was an issue with this bike, I'll tell you that much. Definitely need to do some setup with this bike, and I choose to go over the tabletop line right there, triple in, if you will. But yeah, I don't know. I really like the way that this bike treated, Supercross. Definitely, 8 out of 10 bike for sure. Turns and front tucks, you did kind of have to be touchy with the throttle, but that comes with the power. And then the bike feeling overall just was super good. I'm not sure like how I can really rate that, but basically first impressions, hop onto the bike, how easy is it to kind of get used to? It was very nice. It was very easy, very simple, very easy going as a bike. And overall, 9 out of 10. Power's awesome for a 250. Comfortability was obviously one of the top as well, with good traction. And the model was decent. It wasn't my favorite. Onto the Husky now. In motocross was very easy to get used to. I'm not sure what it was with this bike. Clicked with it instantly. This is first lap right here. I'm pretty sure I do keep like a bobble or two, and these are not the cleanest rides by any means. Like I mentioned, it was 102 or it is 102 a.m., but this was still, a while ago. It's probably still like 11:45, 11:30, somewhere around there. But the bike was fun. It was pretty, honestly, like easy to kind of mesh with. It kind of reminded me of the old Kawasaki. A bike I made for a long time. If I had to pick a bike that felt the most like it, it would have to be this Husky. I think it just really speaks for itself. I mean, you guys are looking at the gameplay right now. This is the first bike I took out to ride. I think it was one of the first, actually. I'm not sure if it was the first, but it was one of the first. And I think that it was very nice. Like I've mentioned multiple times about other bikes, but this one I really mean it. It is very particularly nice. I think that word really just fits it well. Smooth can also work as well. I mean, just about everything. Right there is the only bobble. Jumped a little bit too far into it. Kind of led me to believe that the suspension really isn't that great, because I know some other bikes, and especially the old Cowie, could have easily gotten out of that one with no repercussions or anything like that. But unfortunately, not it. But motocross, 10 out of 10 for sure. I mean, this bike, you guys obviously see it. Looks great, awesome. Suspension is the only thing that does kind of dock it, but I think that you obviously you can mess with that with setups. So I thought that, you know what, it's still a 10 out of 10 for me. Very easy to adapt to. Now during Supercross, this bike was a pain, actually. This is the 7th lap in, and I got fed up. So I left this one in. I'm not even sure how good of a lap this is. It's probably not even that great. Probably a few bobbles already on the lap, but I'm pretty sure I don't get okay, no, I do get that triple out. Okay. But yeah, Supercross, it was fine. Whoops, it did treat well in the 7 laps that I did. Just this, this lap itself really didn't seem to, care to bring in some of the greatest whip sections for me. Turns and front tucks, I do have to say great thing about this traction. I mean, the traction was awesome. Super cool. And then the bike feeling overall, 4 out of 10. Definitely had to warm up to it. That was for sure, especially with Supercross. It just wasn't really mobile at first. A little tire tap for the boys, and then just overall a 9 out of 10 bike, 8 out of 10 power. Comfortability was not the greatest on it. Traction was fine, and then the model I thought was pretty cool as well. Sound was down to a 4. Wasn't my favorite. Cowie though, starting off in motocross, gave this bike a pretty good rating. Definitely the second go around was the best. I tried to use this one right as it dropped. It's the first bike I hopped on, and let me tell you, was not my best idea. It was absolute not great. And then I tried to use it again, and obviously right here you guys see me clicking with the bike a little bit more. It just seemed to come around naturally after trying the other bikes and adapting to so many other bikes that you really are kind of untouched. But I chose to test the limits headed into this corner. I wasn't surprised by the way that it took that corner. I wasn't expecting it to take it the best, and I did kind of ease onto it. Just because like some of these bikes you never know, and this one I was super skeptical of, so I was trying to be as consistent as I could with this. I think this could be I actually did make a mistake. So this is second go around of it. I remember making a mistake on the Cowie. That little bobble right there, luckily I stay up. But in motocross I did rate this one a solid 7 out of 10. You know, ruts, it didn't really stay in them that great. Suspension was pretty good though, and then once you really got into a corner, you could accelerate without too many, backlash coming at you. Oh, never mind, there's my bubble. Decided to keep that one in. Just was not about to go another lap with this bike. And then I gave a good rating on the motocross side of things for this bike. I think that it is definitely serviceable, especially with a good setup. I can still definitely see guys riding the Cowie. I wouldn't doubt, me riding it a little bit more in the future. You guys seen a lot of green on the channel, and I expect that to go down for sure. Trying out some other bikes. Hopping on to Supercross now with the Cowie. You guys will see me kind of gel with it immediately as I hopped on here. Like I said, I had already been servicing other bikes, so I kind of had to, put this one in a tough situation here, riding it kind of in the middle of the pack as well. So if anything, it kind of benefited from that somehow. So Supercross, I gave it a 7 out of 10. The whoops were not great. I did not like it. And then it actually had a lot of front tucking issues. And then the overall bike feeling, it was hard to get used to, especially at first. First impressions, not great. Overall, I gave the bike a 6 out of 10, 7 out of 10 in power. Comfortability was a 6 out of 10. Traction was 8 out of 10. And then the front tucks like that, like I mentioned, it was a little bit of a problem, especially on flat corners with minor berms. And then the model I actually love. I'm not sure, if that is I don't know if that take is taken real well around the community, but I love the model. And then the sound, obviously the OG sound. Love that. On to the KTM now. This one was a surpriser to me. I really didn't like this bike the first time I rode it as well. Then when I started to record this video, I found a new love for it. I'll tell you that much. Heading on to the motocross side of things right now with the KTM. Obviously, the fender's orange, right? And it even says KTM on the bar pad for my wise person, Bike was fine. I really loved the way that the suspension took to the track. Really, you can tell that it kind of absorbed everything. I'm not sure how much. Oh, I tested it headed into this corner right here. Not too much, but I mean that is as good as it gets right there. And headed into that corner, probably could push it a little bit more, but wasn't too comfortable on the bike. I think this was actually the first go around on the KTM. I even took it to the upper deck right there. And sent it down this massive hill. There it is. Yeah, I decided to go with it because it was super late at this point. It was probably one of the last ones I recorded. I did all the Supercross first and then Motocross the last. Probably should have done vice versa. Not sure how much sanity I would have left doing Supercross, so it probably wasn't a great idea actually. So yeah, overall Motocross, it was very surprising how well this bike did. I was not expecting this, but I can definitely see myself riding the KTM in the future. On Motocross, gave it an 8 out of 10. Really fell into ruts nicely, and you were able to follow through pretty nice. So 7 out of 10 there. And then suspension, it really shows what it takes with. And with the 7 on it, I feel like it was a little not generous. Watching the footage back, obviously, but I don't know. I feel like it's a good rating, 7 out of 10. I guess it really works. But I'm about to move on to Supercross here, and we'll see what sort of way that this thing can move through Supercross. And I thought overall it was a good one. I don't think that it was my favorite. I think this is my second favorite bike through the whoops though, but it wasn't my favorite feeling at first. And then once I really started to get comfortable with the bike, I started to obviously do some dumb scrubs, get out of hand there. But Supercross, definitely 8 out of 10. Whoops were an 8 out of 10. Turn and front tucks were 9 out of 10. I really liked the way that it did not lose too much grip in the front end. And then the bike feeling was a total 6 out of 10. It wasn't great at first. Kind of had to warm up to it. And then overall, for sure, an 8 out of 10 bike, 9 out of 10 power with 10 out of 10 comfortability. I think it's super easy to adapt to in maybe your first 10 laps of a motocross track, maybe. Traction was really good on it as well, 7 out of 10 on the model and 7 out of 10 on the sound. Probably could go without it. Suzuki. Spoiler alert, this was my probably fourth go around on the motocross track after not even getting past the second corner. Suzuki was definitely not my favorite. This bike is completely different. It's got power like no other. This thing can really move, but it's just how you choose to move it, you know. It has this weight issue where it drags to whatever, you know, you're leaning towards, whatever direction. It's super weird, man. I don't even know how to explain it, but this one definitely will be cut short, so I'll actually start doing this now. 1 out of 10. I gave this rating a 1 out of 10 for motocross. Hardest bike to get used to by far. I don't think that there was any point where you felt safe or comfortable on this bike. Maybe just over a triple, maybe. Ruts weren't great. Corner speed was phenomenal. Obviously, you could go through anything. And the suspension, I wasn't really a good fan of as well. It just seemed to really not take to the track at all. And I had crashed, like I said, this was my 4th go around. And then I had this little thing right here, and I was not about to end this lap. Got back on with determination, went into this corner, and then whatever this is right here, a little, you know, whatever, it can't hurt, get back up. And then I don't even do this. I just try to adjust to the left, and it just absolutely pulled me down. Not sure what that was about. Moving on to Supercross, though, with the Suzuki, a beast through the whoops. I don't think that there's been a bike this good through the whoops ever. This bike, I'm not sure what it is. The back end is so freaking heavy. I'm sure that might be it. But I don't even know, man. This bike just moves through the whoops. I gave it an overall 3 out of 10 on Supercross, though, but 11 out of 10 with the whoops. And then, yeah, traction, obviously, not there. You know, front tucks, I gave it a 2, and then the bike feeling was a overall negative 3 out of 10, especially on Supercross. Just super hard to get a grip on what the bike was going to do, let alone what it did. And then overall, the bike, 0 out of 10, 11 out of 10 power. Comfortability, there's no comfort once you first start riding this. I feel like it could be super good with the right setup and the right rider and with the right amount of time on the bike. Of course, you know, whatever traction, you guys see it, probably should be lowered, actually. Model was not that great either. Sound, could care for it, or couldn't care less about it. And then moving on to the last bike here with the Yamaha. Moving into this one in motocross, I gave this one a pretty solid rating considering it was a very good bike. Super bad. Okay, so at first I didn't think it was a great bike. Started to ride it maybe 5 laps into Supercross. I was like, dude, this thing actually can go. And then I started to I took a break from it, obviously, and then I came back to record this video, and I absolutely clicked with the bike. I'm not sure what the whole deal is with that, but just clicked with the bike, and I thought that was really interesting, right? You know, it's just super cool. You don't normally just click with the bike exactly like this, and this was awesome to see for me. Honestly, I never really got along with the bikes this well, but overall, I gave this bike 7 out of 10 here on motocross. I would say that it falls into ruts great, but, you know, coming out of the corners, it wasn't all that great. I'm not gonna lie. You know, it doesn't really like follow through corners a whole lot better than any other bike out there. I mean, the suspension was pretty nice too. It was pretty forgiving. Let me see. Yeah, okay. Right here, kind of just rebounds immediately. It was pretty nice actually to see how this bike behaved, especially in motocross. We're headed to Supercross soon, where I had a very solid rating for it. It was freaking awesome to see. It's just instant click with the bike for sure. I'll start getting into the Supercross you know, ratings right now. That way we can make the end of the video. Yeah, it was an overall 9 out of 10 in the Supercross department. I mean, it was a super fun bike through there, of course. And then the whoops, they were actually pretty nice on the Yamaha. I'm not gonna lie, it was a 7 out of 10 for me through the whoops, just to naturally go. And then the front tucks, it really didn't front tuck. And then you're able to click with it after maybe 5, maybe 10 laps, even 7 laps, even. I don't know. You just were able to click with the bike after a short amount of time. Overall, the bike was stellar. 8 out of 10, power was 7 out of 10, comfortability, you were, you know, good immediately on it. Traction, 8 out of 10, model, 7 out of 10, sound, 7 out of 10. That is it for the 250s. I don't know if you guys want a 450 video like this, but if you do, you definitely have to let me know. I mean, it'd be another long video, but I'd be a little bit more prepared for it next time. But yeah, that'll pretty much be it for me. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I'm about to watch this final whip section, and yeah, just a lot of work put into this video, and hopefully you guys enjoy it. And I almost go over the bars there, but that'll be it for me. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys next time. Deuces.